AI music. This situation happened in the United Kingdom, and these artists coming together to protest some changes, some legal processes being discussed that will have significant impact on artists and music and just the creativity of the field as a whole. This is something that we also covered on our actual site. So if you want to go, you can go watch that. Go read that actual article that we posted. But here it is. Over 1,000 artists created a silent album in protest against the use of AI in music, including big names like Damon Albarn, Kate Bush, and Annie Lennox. Kate Bush, obviously, I think, very well known, especially if you love music, but also love Stranger Things. She became very, very big after that, but with a lot of these kind of young artists. But she's also been a very, very loud critic of artificial intelligence and AI and protecting music and musicians and pushing back against like the music industry in terms of like Spotify and Apple Music and all them. Like she's been at the forefront of this fight for a long time. So I'm not very surprised to see her on here. But here we go. The UK government proposed changes to copyright law, allowing AI companies to train their models using copyrighted work without a license. And that's created a furor in the British music industry and elsewhere. To protest the proposed changes, more than 1,000 artists, including big names like Damon Albarn, Kate Bush, and Annie Lennox, have released a silent album titled Is This What We Want? The project contains recordings of empty studios and performance spaces, which represent the impact we expect the government's proposals would have on musicians' livelihoods. It consists of 12 tracks, which spell out a message that reads, the British government must not legalize music theft to benefit AI companies. Say this again. The UK government has proposed a change to copyright law, which would allow AI companies to train their models using copyrighted work without a license. This has been a topic of discussion for a long time since AI kind of first really started to blow up on the mainstream scale in the last 2 years or so, especially in like kind of in terms of artwork and painting and everything, how all of these AI machines were magically creating works of art that heavily resembled people's copyrighted, protected works, and then tweaked just a little bit in the way that AI does. And they call them learning machines. What are you learning on? Obviously, on work that has always been out there. And one part of art and just creativity and then creative field in general is you can only make as much money as you can protect your individual creative work. Basically, if your creative work does not have any individual value, any uniqueness, anything worth copywriting, something that's easily replicatable, then you are going to have a hard time making a career, making money, being successful. But at least if a person did this, it was very easy, not easy, but you had much more of a chance to take this person to court, to get it stopped, to get any punitive damages. But AI has been a very, very tricky area. It has been a topic of discuss for a very long time. And the fact that the United Kingdom, the country itself, is proposing changes to copyright that would legally allow AI machines to learn based on copyrighted music without a license. Now, obviously, some people will say this is for the betterment, this is for the advancement of technology, this is for the betterment of, the future of artificial intelligence, and being as they're learning machines, learning models, you have to use, obviously, work that has already been published to learn on, which in itself is fine. But music is copyrighted last time I checked. You cannot create a piece of work that is even close to something that has already been put out there without opening yourself up to copyright, to being sued, and to losing your royalties. That is an artist's livelihood. If you can just create a program that can scan all the copyrighted music out there and create some sort of variation of music and songs and production that is already out there, that is popular, that is successful, and then make money off of that and not have to pay the originator, going down a very, very slippery slope. So they're right. They're right to be very concerned about this proposed change. And the way that they're going about it, protesting, having, a silent album, so to speak, of, let's see how many tracks. Well, it's not said over 1,000. So here's the full list of musicians and groups involved. Basically empty sound, empty tracks. It is a very unique kind of form of protest that, I think did what it was supposed to do. Caught headlines, brought attention to this, because I didn't know about this. I think a lot of people didn't know about this until they heard about this project that had come out. So like the form of protest is to draw attention to some wrongdoing, some problem that you have in the means that you can. I think it's very smart. I think it's pretty ingenious, actually. I think it's a hell of an idea. And it grabbed headlights, brought attention to it. But the question is, will this do anything to change it? Does it do anything to stop it? That remains to be seen. But the official description reads, in late 2024, the UK government proposed changing copyright law to allow artificial intelligence companies to build their products using other people's copyrighted work, music, artwork, text, and more. So without a license. So it's not just music, also art, which has already been a massive sore spot in terms of this conversation with AI. But text, another one, and music. The musicians on this album came together to protest this. The album consists of recordings of empty studio and forum space representing the impact we expect the government's proposal would have on musicians' livelihoods. Other artists credited on the silent album include Ed O'Brien of Radiohead, The Clash, Tori Amos, Hans Zimmer, Pet Shop Boys, Jamiroquai, that's all, and Yusuf/Cat Stevens. All proceeds are being donated to the UK charity Help Musicians. So I think it's a very, very, very dope kind of form of protest that they're doing. I think it brought a lot of attention to this major issue in terms of like creative fields and creative endeavors as a career, which is increasingly being threatened by artificial intelligence, AI, which, can be seen in the form of, we kind of discussed this a couple weeks ago. Is Spotify is basically paying AI farms to produce ambient lo-fi music that they can use to then put on these playlists that people are already listening to, instead of actual artists that create the music, so that they don't have to pay the premium price of using and licensing that artist's music, which they are already paying 0.0000001 cent of a penny to an artist. So if you don't think this is an issue that is going to greatly continue to threaten the livelihood of musicians and artists and whatnot, like, you got another thing coming, because it's here and it's not slowing down anytime soon. And if Spotify, which I wouldn't be surprised if they were crafting their own kind of AI arm or feature of something that can analyze music and produce music on their own, because if they cannot pay labels and artists licensing fees and royalties, they would do it. They would jump at it. It's just kind of crazy to think that this is the point we're at. It's very scary times to be an artist, a musician, a creative in the industry right now. Like, it's It's very hard to make money as it already is. Now you have AI, bots, companies trying to cash in on your work for free. Kind of fucked up.